Righty, welcome back, Kinstretchers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Really excited that Rachel is teaching Kinstretch again for you guys. Number one, just so that she gets some Kinstretch practice, but number two, so that you guys get to experience her style of teaching and the depth to which she explores Kinstretch and its concepts. So really exciting stuff. Make sure you take her class. We are going to get started right away. It is quite chilly in here today, about 48 degrees. So I'll be keeping my socks on and wearing long sleeves. So what you'll need is just yoga blocks and your tennis balls today. I think it may be nice to also have a pad of some sort, like a pillow or a cushion for your knee. I'm going to teach you guys how to do some passive range liftoffs and passive range holds for knee flexion, so hamstring training. It will be pretty intense, and we'll probably spend a fair amount of time on the knee in half kneeling. So having a pad, like I have a gardener's knee pad. This is a really great piece, but you could use a couch cushion or a pillow or something like that, or even some towels. So let's get started. We're going to start in standing for cars today, and then we'll go from there. So let's grab your balls, squeeze them tight, and reach them down to the floor. Create a little bit of tension throughout your body and begin with the neck, bringing chin to chest. Look to the right armpit, right ear back to your right back pocket, eyes up and over to the left. Down, chin to chest, and reverse. Look left, left ear to back, left pocket, eyes up, over to the right, down, chin to chest. I'm just going to reclip my microphone here. There we go. It's better. And number two, look to right armpit, right ear back to right back pocket, eyes up to the ceiling. Look over to the left, down to left armpit, down to center, reverse. Look to left armpit, left ear back, eyes up and over to the right and down. Number three. Big circles with the neck and reverse. And arms across the chest, bringing elbows down to center. Turn the left shoulder down towards the floor. Lean the right shoulder back to the back right pocket. Chest pointed up to the ceiling, over to the left. Right shoulder down to the floor, down to center, and reverse. Right shoulder to floor, left shoulder towards your back left pocket. Chest to center and ceiling, right shoulder to back right pocket, left shoulder down towards the floor and center. Let's use the clock analogy. Right now, center of your chest should be pointed at 6 o'clock if there's a clock on the wall in front of you. And now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest should be pointed at 12. Again, imagine a clock on the wall in front of you. Over to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and reverse. And one more. Man, it is really cold. I need like heavy duty wool socks or something. Holy moly. And reverse. This reminds me of when the pandemic first started and we had shut our heat down in the gym. We were freezing our butts off in there. All right, next, shoulder blades. Let's shrug the shoulders, roll them forward, unshrug, pull back, shrug, roll forward, unshrug, pull back. One more, down and reverse, roll forward, shrug, pull back, unshrug, forward, shrug, back, unshrug, forward, shrug, back, unshrug. Let's go to the shoulder itself. I'll demo from the side. I like to put my hand either behind my back so I can feel if I'm bending a lot there, or same thing, you could put it in front. This microphone does not want to stay today. Let's see if we can find a better spot. Hopefully that will work. All right, so bring right arm across the midline. Bicep grazes the cheek as you come to overhead. Turn palm forward and out. Reach back behind you. Keep twisting in internal rotation until you come to the side. Your palm should be facing out here. Reach back. Externally rotate. Come to overhead and across. Number 2. Finicky microphone today. And reverse. And number 3, across the midline, grazes cheek, overhead, internal rotation, reach back, reverse, reach back, external rotation, come to overhead and across. Other side, yeah, this thing is not cooperating today. Hopefully it'll just stay in place. All right, here we go. Left side, arm across midline, bicep grazes your cheek, come to overhead position, palm forward, palm out. This is internal rotation as you reach back behind you and come down to meet the thigh. Palm should be facing out here. You're in internal rotation. Reach back, turn the palm up, in towards your butt, down to the ground. That's external rotation. Come to overhead and across. Number 2. Trying to make as big of a circle here as possible. Reverse. And number 3. And reverse. Very good. Next, the elbows. Palms are facing forward, elbows are straight. Bend the palms, turn, extend, turn, bend, turn, extend, turn, bend. One more, turn, extend, turn, bend. Now keep the palms facing you. Extend, turn over, bend, turn, extend, turn, bend, turn, extend, last one, turn, bend. For the wrist, just set one ball aside. Whoops, grab onto your forearm. Palm is facing up, and let's go counterclockwise circles at the wrist. Light squeeze on the ball, and reverse clockwise circles. Great, and the other side, clockwise and counterclockwise. I don't know what to do with this microphone. It keeps sliding off. Maybe put it higher up or something? No idea. This shirt is too tight. I'm sure everyone is thinking that too. Dude, get a looser shirt. Next, the hips. Bring left foot over right and flex the hip, lifting the knee up, open out to the side. Once you get stuck, start twisting that foot back behind you. Let the knee drop and reverse. Come out to the side, scoop that foot under, come across and over the right foot. Number 2, lift the knee, open. Once you get stuck, foot reaches back, reverse, out to the side, foot drops under, leads the way back. That's 2. Number 3, coming up, lift, open, internally rotate, meet the knee, reverse, out to the side, under, and across. And then the other side. I don't know if you guys can hear that wind. It's crazy. Right foot over left, flex the hip, open, internally rotate. Don't kick that thing. And reverse, out to the side, foot drops under, leads the way across. If you can get external rotation here, that's great, foot to the inside of the knee. As you come back and reverse the movement, getting external rotation here is a really good challenge. So in this position, when the knee is out here, can you get the foot to be slightly in front of the knee? And reverse. So right here, can you bring that foot forward in front of the knee? Really good external rotation there. As we transition to the ground, let's do knees and ankles on the floor, which will be great. I'll be sitting right in front of my heater. So for the knee, today let's do capsular knee cars. So just pivoting back and forth. We'll get 10 total, 5. You're trying to get the shin to shift in place. And then the ankle, lift that leg up, left hand on the shin, big circles, drawing the circle with the toes, moving through the ankle, reverse, and the other side. Capsular car, whoops. So heel stays on the ground, toes are up. You're trying to get the shin to pivot in place. About 10. And then pick up. Circles through the ankle, drawing them with the toes. Very good. So our first bit of practice today will be in butterfly. An entry point to external rotation. If you feel like butterfly is a challenging position for you, you can sit on a yoga block. You can also play with the amount of knee bend that you have. So it'll be a little bit easier to sit in this position if you take your feet further out, but you won't have as much external rotation. So what I want you to do is find the spot, whether you need the yoga block or not, where you can get your knees to their widest position, but you can sit up tall. So we want to stretch somewhere in the groin here. And this is the position that we're going to work in today. Now, what we're going to do that's going to be really challenging is, whether you're on the floor or on a block, it's not going to matter. You're going to take a block and place it under one foot. So I'm going to start with the right foot. And what you should feel is a little more stretch in the groin and inside of the hip. So this is where it's important for us to try to sit tall. And we're going to do pails rails from this position, and then we'll work with some lift-offs and passive range holds for these externally rotated limbs. All right, so sit up nice and tall. What you want to think about doing, which is hard on the yoga block, is spilling your belly button forward, lifting your chest up high so that you can sit in as tall of a position as possible and get some stretch along the back side of this right hip. So external rotation usually manifests as a stretch in the back of the right hip or in the back of the hip, whether it's right or left, doesn't matter. So that's your objective, is to try to find that stretch feeling back there. Now again, as I did before, you may need to kind of switch back and forth between supporting yourself from behind or grabbing onto your ankles or your feet. So a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, let's drive that right ankle into the yoga block. 20% effort, ramping up, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and safest, greatest effort, push into that block. 3, 2, 1. Try to lift the right ankle off the block. Should feel inside of the thigh working. You're trying to lift that foot off. 3, 2, 1. Now try a different position. If you were supporting yourself from behind, try grabbing on this time to that foot. It'll give you something to work against. When you're ready, drive that right ankle into the block. Safest, greatest effort for 10. 3, 2, 1, and try to lift. You can put your hand on top and try to pull against that hand. 3, 2, 1. Final set. Here we go. Drive that ankle into the block. Safest, greatest effort for 10. 3, 2, 1. And try to lift. Again, I like my hand on top, giving me something to kind of work towards. 3, 2, 1. And relax. So you can lift this foot. We're going to switch to the other side. Whew. I feel like I need like 7 yoga blocks to get into the right spot here. Yeah, all right, we'll leave this as is. So again, think about spilling belly button forward, chest up high. I may actually have to come out of this block position because I can't get my hands on the ground. There we go. So from here, like we talked about, belly button spilling forward, chest up high. We're trying to find a stretch in the back of that left hip. When you're ready, let's drive left ankle into the block. Safest, greatest effort for 10. 3, 2, 1, and try to lift. This is way harder without that block. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if I can actually get up like that. There we go. All right, drive ankle into the block. Safest, greatest effort for 10. 3, 2, 1. Place hand on top. Try to pull against that hand and lift. 3, 2, 1. Brutal stretch. And last one, drive left ankle into the block. Safest, greatest effort for 10. 3, 2, 1, and try to lift. 3, 2, 1, and let's take that block away. Now, I'm kind of experimenting here with whether or not I like the block under my butt. I think I like it for my hips, but then my hands can't reach the ground, so it's making it really hard to prop up into the right stretch position. That's okay. So what we're going to do now is we'll work passive range liftoffs, and then I'll also show you how to do a hover from this butterfly position. So what you're going to do, again, if you need to, prop your butt up higher or move your feet out further. The further out you move, the more control you're going to have over the limb. The closer it is, the more difficult it will be. So find a spot that feels appropriate for you. And what we're going to do is just try to lift this foot up off the ground. If you need to, you can lean back, and that leverage will give you the ability to lift the foot. So you're trying to figure out, where can I position my torso forward and back to just be able to lift that leg off the ground. All right, so this is a passive range liftoff. We can also do passive range holds here, but let's do the liftoff first. So from this position, let's sit up straight, and then we'll see how much torso lean we need. Your objective is to lift that foot. Let's do a set of 10. So lift the foot, drop it down, sit up straighter if it was easy, lift the foot, drop it down, lift, drop, lift, and 5. Now I'm going to try to lean even further forward and grab this ankle. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now what you want to try to do is reduce movement of this knee. So you don't want to lift the foot by bringing the knee in. Let's just try 1 rep. Keep your arm out on this knee and see if you can lift that foot. All right, so sit up nice and tall, arm on this knee, lift. A little bit different, all right? So let's do that for all 10 on this side. Oh man, why did I pick butterfly? All right, here we go. So arm is over the knee just lightly and lift the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll notice I'm just clearing the floor. 6, it's not about lifting up really high. 7, got to come back a little. 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right, now what we're going to do is play with hinges and hovers. So we're still drilling this externally rotated position in the hips. The hover is a lift from the floor and movement through the hip to get over an object. The hinge, which I'll show you after, is lifting that foot off the ground and then hinging through the knee, which would, in theory, set us up into straddle. So, starting with the hover, take a tennis ball or other similar sized object and place it right in front of your ankle. So it should be maybe in front of the top of the foot or in front of the shin, but like right in that spot. What we're going to do is lift up and then hover over that object, all right? So similar to the passive range lift, but a little extra motion. So we lift, hover by moving through the hip, drop down. So my knee angle should not change here, all right? If I lift and straighten the knee, that's a hinge. The hover is movement through the hip. It's movement through the joint that created the initial liftoff, all right? So sit up nice and tall. We're going to do 5 of these. Lift, hover, drop down, lift, hover, drop. If you can, take your hands away and try. Lift, hover, drop, lift, hover, drop. Number 3. 4. And 5. Whew, very good. Other side, same thing. Hovering over the object. Here we go. Lift, hover, lift, hover. Again, movement coming from the hip. This is pretty tough. That's 3. 2 to go. Now what I'm doing here with my hands is you can either pull on them or you can push them together to create more tension. I'll explain that concept in a second, but give it a try. And lift, hover, lift, hover. One more. Lift, hover, lift, hover. All right. In Kinstretch and FRC, the more tension you can create, the more control you can exhibit over the range. So if I just try to move this foot without tensing up anything in my body, I won't really have much control over it. But if I can tense my hands and my shoulders and my arms and my abs and my legs, then I'll be able to control that motion much better. Let me, I do want to do the hinges with you guys, but this is blowing like right in my eyes. So I'm just going to kind of move it over a little bit. All right, so the hinge is a little bit different. This time you're going to lift up. The tennis ball doesn't really matter here, and you're going to extend the knee, straighten the knee, and we're just going to practice in that space. So you have to hold the limb up the whole time. You'll probably need to lean back a little bit here so that you have enough leverage over that limb. So when you're ready, lift the right foot, straighten the knee, keep the toes pointed out, bend the knee, straighten, bend, make it more challenging by leaning further forward. We're going to do 10 here, 4, 5. For folks who are really mobile, really pull that thigh back. See how far back you can keep the thigh. 6, 7. Don't let it touch the ground. 8, 9, 10. Whew. That is brutal. Oh, goodness. All right, second set, or left side set. I'm going to try to do this hands-free this time. So again, hands behind you is easier. As you sit further forward, it's harder. As you take hands away, it becomes more challenging. So hands out to the side or in front of you will be more challenging. If you're insane, you could put your hands overhead, which I can't even access in butterfly. So here we go. Lift off, hinge through the knee. 1, 2, keep it off the ground. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All righty. Now, if you're using a block, take that block away. What I'd like to do is work internal rotation, but from a position a little less intense than 90-90. It's a collapsed 90-90 position, so the angles are not as intense. So all you have to do is take your left knee and place it where your left foot is. So lift that left foot up, shift your weight to the right so that the right knee drops down to the ground, and set the left knee down where the left foot was. Now, if we were going to train 90-90, we would open that knee up to give you a more intense angle. What you're going to do today is keep that knee collapsed, which should allow you to get a hold of this limb in this position. So you might be able to grab your thigh, or you might be able to grab this ankle. And the more you turn towards that side, the more of a stretch you'll feel in internal rotation. But for those of you guys who have been with us a while and maybe who have trouble with 90-90, this position should feel much more accessible. So turn over towards that limb. Should feel a stretch on the top of that hip, somewhere up here. A couple deep breaths. Now, what we're going to do is similar to a passive range hold. So the idea is that I'm going to move in space, and what I am going to try to do is bring this limb with me. So as I move in space, my pelvis is shifting away or shifting around the thigh. But if I bring the thigh with me, it's essentially a passive range hold, okay? So here's how it works. Keep a hold on this limb. Take a deep breath in. Shift your weight down towards that right side, and then let go and hold that foot off the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. Return. Grab. Oh man, I'm gonna cramp really hard. If you can't get this knee, that's fine. Just grab the shin and you can take the leg with you. So again, sit up straight, bring the leg with you as you shift your weight, then take the hand away and hold. And come back. Let's do 3 more. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Grab on. I'm going to try to go a little lower here. Now, it's important, watch here, as you take this hand away, do it slowly so that the foot does not drop at all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Now, last thing we'll do here is passive range liftoffs. The degree to which you lean is what will make this easier. So I can't really lift that foot from here, but if I move this hand out just a little bit, I should be able to lift this foot by internally rotating through this hip, okay? So if I'm all the way over here grabbing it or able to touch it, I can't lift it off the ground, but if I just creep away a little bit, now I can get it off the ground, all right? So a set of 10 here, and let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's switch sides. So lift up the knee and foot together. Externally rotate, bring that foot back to where it was. Shift weight to the left side and internally rotate. Again, collapsed 90-90 here. You'll still probably have close to a 90-degree angle between your thighs, but you're not going to have the 90-degree angle at the knee anymore, all right? So let's do passive range hold first for this hip. So taking the hip with you, or taking the shin, I guess, and then slide the hand away. 3, 4, 5. You can get lower if you want, which is just going to make it harder because you're getting further away from the floor. 3, 4, 5. And again, slide the hand away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Pull up on this shin to get more internal rotation. Once you have it, slide the hand away. Don't let that leg drop. 3, 4, 5. Last one. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Come down. So passive range liftoff. Again, if I'm sitting up straight, I probably can't lift that foot. I mean, this side I'm much stronger on, so I sort of can. But as you shift your weight away from that leg, like if I go all the way over here, I can lift that foot really easily, right? So the key is finding the spot where you can only lift that slightly. We won't go over the extra challenge here today, but there is another spot that you could create a challenge from. So when you're ready, lift that foot. We're going to do 10. You want the space where you can just disconnect from the ground. 2. Actually, hold on. That's better. Okay, so what I did, I had this thigh open in extension too much. If you bring it back so that it's kind of like 90 degrees pointing straight ahead, that may be a little more comfortable. It should basically be where that foot was before in butterfly. So here we go. This will be number 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All righty. So from here, we can actually come up into a half kneeling position. This is going to be the last thing that we cover today, is the training for the knee. Let me just get this stuff away. So from here, you're going to be able to get into a half kneeling position by rolling up into what is called a shin box. Some folks already know what this is. But what's going to happen is you're going to drive this left leg down and press into this right foot to lift yourself up from the ground. So this is called a shin box. And you can also bring yourself back down through that same path. Now, what we'll do is we'll come up into the shin box, and then we'll get into half kneeling from there. So come up into the shin box, turn on those right toes, and then you can get up on the knee, and you should be able to take that left leg and bring it forward. And so that puts you into half kneeling. Now take that padding that we talked about earlier for your knee, because you're going to want it here. What we'll start with for the knee is passive range holds. So if you can't reach back here, you're going to need a towel or a band. So I guess I didn't mention that, but you'll need something that you can reach and pull your foot up with. In the meantime, sit up nice and tall, head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knee, and then you're going to bend the knee, grab hold of it, pull it tight, which will give you a quad stretch. I don't really care about that stretch. That's not the objective. Now pull your heel towards your butt using your leg. So think about squeezing that heel closer, and then pull this hand away and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to try my other hand. Can I reach it? Yep. Okay, cool. Same thing. Pull that foot in close. Think about squeezing in this space here, and then take the hand away and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't be afraid of the hamstring cramp. Here we go. Whoops. Ugh. Lost my balance. If you have a door frame or you have a broomstick, okay. Gonna need that here. That will help a lot so that you can keep your balance. Here we go. Same thing. Stay nice and tall. Take the hand away. Squeeze that heel towards your butt. 3, 2, 1. Other side. I'm so confused right now. Number 4. Take the hand away. 3, 2, 1. And again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, now that's a passive range hold. For the lift off, you're probably going to need at least 2 yoga blocks. And what you need to do is get them stacked under your shin to a point where you can just lift off, all right? So that's a little short for me. I'm gonna raise it up some. So I have one block in its flat orientation and the other block in kind of its half position. All right, so same as before, try to sit up nice and tall. We're gonna do 10 of these here. You're going to lift your foot off the block. Try not to lean forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, this is hell. 8, 9, and 10. Take those blocks away and switch knees. So left knee is down now. Starting with the passive range hold first. The broomstick definitely helps. So again, either a door frame, piece of furniture, or the broomstick to hold on to will really make a big difference here. When you're ready, I can't even do this without getting into immense extension. If you find that, like I do here, you have to arch your back to reach that foot, shift your weight forward, and it should allow you to have better control over the position and not need to arch your back like that, all right? So we want to keep that midsection relatively stable and rigid. So here we go, 5, passive range hold. Slide the hand away, squeeze the heel towards your butt. 3, 2, 1, and second set. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Man, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. And number 4. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty. Passive range liftoff. I'm going to use the same block position as before. I think, we got a lot of new folks, so maybe we'll shoot a video where we go over the Kinstretch terms and demonstrate what they are so that you guys know, because I'm kind of just calling them out and I don't have the time to explain them all. But I want you to know what we're doing. So next, passive range liftoff. When you're ready, lift off that block. You want the blocks to be at a point where you can just disconnect. So it's not about getting a large range of motion. It's actually about getting a tiny separation between you and the blocks. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, very nice. I'm freezing my butt off. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully your hips and your knees are feeling good, and I'll see you in the next class. All right, thanks very much.